Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy, and joining me tonight, we got the famous Curtis from Ace Per Head.
Famous, man. Oh, man, you're adding that on thick, brother, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, Curtis, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm here with you, man. I'm enjoying
All
it.
right.
You know,
Well, that
you're part of the crew. You're the first guy to invite me on one of you suckers. Make me feel like I'm not out in the Polar Express over there. So I'm always love to come on.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, you bring a lot of knowledge to the table. I always learn something when you come on. I'm always watch your podcast. Like I
Grooming
was,
techniques on how to style my hair, right? And how to comb
yeah,
it.
there you go. Hey, me too. But anyway, like I was gonna say, folks that are in the chat tonight, make sure you go over there to Ace Per Head, check his channel out. He's always has some good stuff there. I know the last 2 or 3 videos that he's put out, excellent, excellent stuff. So keep doing what you're doing, Curtis. I know I enjoy it immensely. So we appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody that's coming in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely hit that like button. And then wherever you're at, whatever platform you're at, I don't know. I've lost track of how many platforms we got folks watching the show on. But if you really want to enjoy the community, come over here to the YouTube channel. And if you're new to the channel, there's a bell down there. Hit that bell, that subscribe button, then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And we're on with the show. So, Curtis, like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
you've had some really good videos put out the last 2 or 3 times. Well, you always have them, but I'm saying the last 2 or 3 because I've watched those 2 or 3 that you put out the last last week here or so. Really enjoyed it. Really learned a lot. So tonight we're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins. Can the front office be fixed, Curtis?
It can. Theoretically, of course it can. But I think even more than theoretically, it's plausible, and it's very plausible in one way, but there's 2 ways that need to be attacked. And both are important. But I think in one way we can. And the league is kind of saying that. So you want me to spill the beans here or what?
Yeah, I want you to spill the
Right.
beans, man. Let everybody in on because I think it was you did a lot of research on this. You spent a lot
Yeah.
of time. I know you did on researching this, and let the folks hear about it because I think you're on to something.
Well, you know what it is? I'm old school. And you know, things back in the day were much more simple. The systems were much more simple. And I'm into history and all that, and I love the enlightened monarch. That's usually the best form of government. One guy who's really good, really smart. He's got total control, but he's good and smart, so he has the best government. Problem is, you don't get a lot of those guys. You get mostly tyrants and screw ups. But I like the one man, one king thing. And Stephen Ross has been into separations of powers and having multiple guys chime in. And I don't like that. We've had problems with that. Donna Ponte arguing with Ireland, arguing with Philbin, then Tannenbaum coming in and Ross giving Gase too much control of the team and him having problems with Greer. I just didn't like that. And so we kind of moved to Greer, who had total control after that from 2019. And despite what we were told, he was in total control. He was in total control now. But there was moments of influence from Ross and people we don't know. But the league itself, which I didn't know because I started doing my research, and I was very surprised at the teams that have many voices. And it's not the one man, one king thing. The Rams, the Lions, 49ers, Vikings. There's a bunch of teams out there that have these 2 or 3 guys and they work together. Usually there's one guy that has the primary voice, but it's not always guaranteed. And so the league itself is finding very successful models with more than one guy running the show, a collaboration, usually a capologist, then, maybe the team president along with the GM, and then some of these teams work with the coaches. So it's a very collaborative thing. It's not the whole league. There's still a lot of one man, one king. And so going into my studies, I was very surprised at the teams out there with that success. I like the Eagles. Roseman's the one man, one king, a lightning monarch. But again, the problem is you're not finding a lot of these guys. I mean, if you're not brilliant and you're the one man, one king, you're going to get screwed up. And so it's much harder to find that enlightened monarch, the one guy to run the whole show. It's easier to get this collaboration. And that's what it looks like to me that we're going to do here in Miami. It looks like you're going to have Brandon Shaw, because Brandon Shaw basically told Greer, who was the one man, one king, quote unquote, not fully, because he was a spineless kind of guy and he'd get pushed around, but generally speaking, he was the one man, one king. But Shaw came in and said, we're cutting the purse strings, buddy. And this was a big year to evaluate whether he stays or goes. So it just makes logical sense that he's going to have power in this next incarnation. Then there's Garfinkel, whatever. He basically, he created the F1.
Right.
The guy's totally brilliant when it comes to being a businessman. And he set Ross up to be free. Most of these franchises, they're reliant on their team generating money. But with the F1 and surrounding properties, he allowed Ross to be free. It doesn't really matter what the team does from a financial standpoint. So Ross is totally beholden on him, and you know how Ross is. So he's clearly going to be a player too. And so you're going to have the business side of operations and maybe like a team president with Garfinkel. And then you're going to have the capologist guy in Shore, who probably will have a little football say. He'll have, cross over from the financial to the operational side, the football operations. And then you get Champ Kelly. And I don't really like his past too much. I don't think he's been really successful. But, he played football. He's been, in the league as a scout guy. And he's also went to school, got his MBA in like analytics and something to computer software. Big brain stuff that I could never even manage.
Smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he fits right in. He's a strong kind of guy. He's a classy looking kind of guy. He could play the business side and he could play the football side. And to me, that looks like what we're going to go with. People are talking about other GMs and other coaches, maybe, but we're at, 4-7 now. We'll probably be 6-7. I think we can get to at least 7, maybe 8 wins. And if you figure, since Greer's gone, even if you lose, 2 or 3 of these, you're going to have almost a winning record from when he's gone. And so you're going to eat all that money from McDaniel. Then you're going to bring a new head coach in for Tua, and Tua's going to be here next year. You can't get rid of him. It's too much money.
Yeah, I agree.
So you brought Champ in last year. You had Shore basically screw Greer over that he couldn't really compete. So you knew he was on the way out. So did you bring Champ in to kind of run the show as interim for a month and a half, 2 months? Because you got to go get a new GM in January. So it doesn't really make sense to me. It could. I could be wrong. But it just really seems to me they're going to have the 3-headed thing at the top, Champ, Shore, and Finkel, and they're going to go with McDaniel and 2 in 26 and see how it plays. And to me, that's what it feels like. But from a philosophical standpoint, you could say maybe these guys aren't the right guys. There's 2 parts to it. There's the philosophy, the philosophy of giving Gase too much control, bringing in Tannenbaum, giving him half the power, and then giving Greer. That's not a good philosophy because the guys didn't get along, and there was blockades that each one could set up for the other. But if they set it up this way, this philosophy matches very closely like the Rams. And not so much like the Lions. The Lions are a 2-man system, but it fits a little bit like what you see with the 49ers, fits a lot with the Vikings. And so the philosophy itself's not a failed philosophy. When Greer was saying, we're going to play fun ball, screw those offensive linemen. You can win through skills. I said, the philosophy is screw it. It's never going anywhere. I knew it was a failed philosophy. So it didn't matter how you stack this team because it was but this is not a failed philosophy. Now, get the bugs all over here. And then, but the main part is, my cat rips the screen open and the moths come in. But the main part is you have to pair it with talent. So if you don't get the right talent in here, just because the philosophy is good, it won't drive us to a championship. Now, the good thing is get rid of Greer, getting maybe Champ in here, having a coherent system. I think the floor will raise. I think we'll be more consistent because Greer was so bad that even like an average guy will look like a genius. And so I do think that no matter what, this team going forward will rise. I don't think it will be, maybe it won't be as inconsistent and fluctuate. You can see what they did even this draft. You know, Grant's still getting better, but he's a player. But he still struggles with his run defense, but that's going to take a while. But then you get Biggers and you got Phillip. That's one heck of a draft. Then you add in Ollie Gordon. That's 4 players. Yeah. And there's still guys you can get out of. You got to see what happens with Jonah. You got to see Trader, Marshall. But that's 4 guys out of a draft that wasn't stocked with picks. That's way better than we usually do. And if you could get 4 players every draft, which we really don't normally do, and maybe pick up some of these trench guys, maybe Greer, who screwed up Jonas Savai and I, if he is indeed a screw up, you could find over the next 2 or 3 years us rising that floor, being more consistent. It's going to take brilliance to get over the top of that. But so I think we're headed in the right direction but mostly if it's because it's addition by subtraction by getting rid of Greer. So philosophically, I think there's opportunity. I'd still like the one man, one king. I don't think we can find it here. So I think the philosophy is good. We got to see how these guys play out. We got to see what Champ Kelly and these guys work together. Does Champ Kelly start banging heads with Garfinkel? And does Garfinkel start saying, I'm the man, and start control? You know, we don't know about that. So we got to wait and see. So that's my take. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. And excellent. I'm glad you were able to come on here and talk about that, because I thought that was brilliant. The research you did and all that. I would have never thought of that. But here's the thing, Champ Kelly. Well, first let me go back a little bit. You mentioned that we might be on the right trajectory and all that kind of stuff, addition by subtraction. And that I agree with that, because we also released the 2 long-term player personnel guys. That had been here for, one was like 32 years, the other one was 26 years, and then you had Greer. So that's 3 that we've already released out from the front office. So that's a good thing in my book. I mean, that's a start. That's a good foundation, or good.
I forgot about that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's a good foundation to start with right now. Champ Kelly, I don't know much about him. I do know he did play football. So hey, that's
college.
That's in college, Kentucky, I think it was, or one of Louisville, Kentucky, or something. But anyway, he's played football. That's the point. And I like that. That's good, and a guy that's been down in the trenches, that knows the game and all that good stuff. And as you said, not only did he have the hard nose, playing football and all that, and knows what violence is all about and stuff like that, but then he can also turn that off, and he's a smart guy. He's got he's an MBA, and he's a classy guy. And I haven't heard him speak yet. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, me too. I was trying to find it. I should probably go to the other teams and check to see.
Yeah, I'd really like to see, how he talks and presents himself and all that. And then another thing also, and as you know, Ross is an analytics guy, right?
Oh yeah.
He's an analytics guy. And so is Kelly. And so is McDaniel. It's a marriage made in heaven, man.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah,
at least that's what I'm hoping. But But no, I really like the way you presented that. It really, was very thought provoking, and I can see that here in Miami, as opposed to the one man show, the one king, as you said. Um, I don't know, man. I have a good feeling about that. I think that could work, even with McDaniel, going on next year. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, what the future is for McDaniel, but I can see him coming back next year. I can see, well, of course, Tua is going to come back next year. I think it would be a detriment to this team, even though a lot of people want to see him gone, including me, to be honest. But it would be a detriment to this team. If you think we're in cap hell now, if we release Tua, that's really going to put us in the bottom of the pit. So, yeah, you got to keep Tua. That would be the most wise thing to do. And I think Brandon Shore knows that. Brandon Shore, as you said, he cut that credit card off. He told Russ, no, man, I'm not, don't take your credit card out. We're going to do it this way. And I think he does have a lot of pull, more than we think, as far as the cap goes and everything. I think he does. And I think I think this year was the beginning of us getting the finances right. Yep. Getting, cleaning the slate, starting over, cleaning out the house, and just starting fresh. And I think we're going in the right direction there. So if there's any hope or any, a warm and fuzzy about this year, it's that. We cut the strings with
and we fired Greer.
That was the biggest one. And that was the biggest one. So I'm really happy about that. But if we'll see. There's still a lot to happen. We still got a lot of football to play. This year we got 7 games. We're playing the New Orleans Saints.
If we lose the next 2 weeks, then then everything kind of goes off the rails.
Yeah.
I say goes off the rails. I mean goes off the rails for McDaniel, the narrative to keep this thing whole.
Right.
Not because I think we're going someplace.
Well,
it's possible. You never know. I mean, they say if you win, if you win 10 games, some of the projections like 22% chance to make.
Right.
I don't see us winning 10 games, but it's theoretical at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look,
we got a bad team this week. Jets are tanking. Steelers are like, we're probably it's gonna be cold and stuff like that, but they're like underperforming. Rodgers got a broken wrist. And then you got the Bengals. They're going to be in our house. How's Joe going to be doing? They got no defense. And then you got who's after that? Who's after? Oh, Tampa, and they're beat up. And then Mayfield's got the jacked up AC joint. I don't see us winning. But hey, what if the Patriots win the next couple of games and they don't need to play?
Exactly.
And they're just saying, "Here, we're coasting." I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's not like I'm saying, I'm going to put a rocket in my butt and fly to the moon. I mean, it's not that easy.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know if you remember the podcast we did. I don't know, it was a while back. And in fact, it was with the Rainy Day podcast, Adrian with the Rainy Day podcast, who he's in the chat. So I welcome you, Adrian. Thank you, brother. Make sure
gotta get you on the channel, Adrian. I got to invite you, man. You got to come on, man. Grace my channel, brother. I got to do that.
There you go. So make sure you all go check out the Rainy Day podcast with Adrian. He not only does Dolphin stuff, he does college, he does wrestling. Does all kinds of good stuff over there.
When's the Ultimate Warrior wrestling again? I want to watch that one. That was my favorite.
Yeah. But and in fact, what I was going to say was just 3-4 weeks back, we were talking about, it's over with. Dolphins don't have a chance, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was trying to get a shot of hope in, and I think it was you and Adrian and maybe Greg was on there, and you guys were saying, nah, there's no chance. They're not going to go anywhere. It's over with. We're done.
It is, though, isn't it?
Well, here we are. We could go 10-7.
Could you imagine that? What that would do?
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, but I'm not saying that, we're a Super Bowl team and, and all that kind of stuff. We're
You
still
never know.
mediocre.
Yeah,
But you
no, we
never
got too
know,
many
right?
holes. We got too many holes, but you never
You're
know.
right.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, right? Not
Josh
probable if it's
Allen goes
possible.
down,
There you go. You never know. Hey, that's the way this year's gone, man.
I know, right?
It's like I was surprised by a lot of these teams that haven't panned out, and then the teams that have panned out, I'm like, what? Carolina Panthers?
I
You
know,
know,
right? The Bills
and,
are
and,
wet, and they
and
they were
Colts.
what? They had I forgot how many, 2-4 at one point, 2-5, or
Yeah, they were not.
or something like that, maybe 2-3. I don't know. They
Yeah,
had a bunch of losses. There was one.
yeah.
I was on one channel, and the podcast. See, they were telling me he was on the chat. I forget who it was, and he said that this Panthers podcast, after they lost the week before us, they said, we're done. This team's not going anywhere. And then they go on a run after us.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Houston. Houston's coming back. They got a hell of a defense,
Oh, yeah.
But
No
they sacked freaking Josh Allen 8 times in that game.
They went to bed so bad, dude. I cannot believe they're urinating on themselves and bringing the friends over to do the same.
Well, they just acquired Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, the Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
How did they get it? How did they do that?
Somehow or another, he was a free agent.
Wow. Yeah, but that's not what they need. That's not the biggest.
No.
The biggest problem is they can't stop the run. And their OC Brady's going back to being Shaky Bones Dorsey and Dable and throwing the football all day.
Yeah.
Smoking some serious stuff. Like what's they should have beat the Texans. I think I forgot how many yards that Cook had, and like they just stripped the ball of him from the second and third quarter.
Yeah. And
they could use a receiver. I mean, definitely could.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any good receivers other than Kincaid, and Kincaid was he's been banged up.
Shakir, but he's a slot guy.
Yeah, Shakir. He's okay. He's a
Coleman. That guy's really wet in the bed too, isn't he, man?
Coleman too. Yeah.
Help scratch. Oh gosh, man, they're taking it. That's good. Maybe it's turning around.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what Lo-Fi says. Lo-Fi says so. Now McD gonna run the 22 package, and then he's gonna figure out next year after 8 games the NFL has figured it out. Well, I think I kind of agree with you, Lo-Fi. I really do. I think we're going to get into that right now. Thank you for bringing that up. We had some stats that came out on Twitter, and they had Dolphins ranked 11th. Their O-line ranked 11th.
I need some of that stuff so I could sell it and become a millionaire.
Well, Curtis, this is where I'm going with that. When I saw that, I'm like, what? I mean, I was surprised, man. And then, and I actually DM'd you, Curtis, and I know you came back with an answer, and then you got me thinking. I'm like, oh man, he's giving me a dose of reality. He is correct.
So much hope.
So basically, what the deal is on that is number one, they are using that 6th O lineman, right, in Brunskill, right? But that's not ideal. That's not sustainable, right? And then you also mentioned that, well, okay, maybe the O-line is playing a little better, but look at the defenses we're playing against. It's all matchups, right? It's the personnel that we're playing against.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Once you do it one week, you can do it every week. That's what they say, right?
That's what they say. But that's what, brought me back to reality. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We played a bunch of teams that were ranked way almost at the bottom, of rushing defense. So, and then of course Achane is our shining star right now. Achane doesn't not need a big hole. He doesn't. All he needs is a little daylight, and he's gone. He's gone, and he has enough power where he can break some of those tackles.
He's very good.
He's always moving forward. He's always moving forward.
And he it is for me, one of the things that's really critical for me for running backs. I love running backs. That was my thing. Is what do they do in small space? And he just does enough to get guys' hands on him, arms on him, and he breaks them all the time. He works, and another one is what happens when the play breaks down, and that he's not so great at. Like when he runs inside, he's not always so patient.
Right.
Is the hole. But when he's got space, his ability to work in space just a little bit to get guys off balance and have them clutching with the speed on top of it, it's exceptional. Exceptional.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. He's definitely a guy that you want to keep around. The thing is, he's going to want some money next year, because he's on his rookie contract. He's going to want some money next year, as does.
Well, it's the year after that, right? So he was signed in what?
Is it the next year?
It was 22 year, right? He was signed, right? 22. So
26 is 4 years.
23. No, I think he was signed in 23 or 22.
I think it was 23.
Yeah, so
he's gonna want extension. He's gonna want extension.
Oh, he's definitely gonna want an extension.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He's gonna want an extension, and I think we're gonna have to give it to him if we I'm thinking, I don't know.
I think he'll get he'll want 15 to 17.
For sure. Same as James Cook.
Yeah, that's a little bit more. Get a little raise. He'll want a little raise.
Yeah. And then you got Brooks. He's gonna want some monies. I mean, he's leading in tackles. He won the defensive.
Tua's gonna want a raise too, right?
He should get it.
Get Jackson a raise too.
Hey, don't be surprised if they don't reconstruct Tua's contract.
They might. You never know.
They might do that. They might do that. But yeah, so let's talk about the O-line. How do you see this O-line right now? How do you see Jonah Severnaya? How do you see Brewer? All those folks across the line. Have they improved? Are they the same? I think Jonah Severnaya is definitely going to be back next year. He signed a guarantee.
Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, no, that's 100%.
Ain't going anywhere.
No. Well, I'll just give you a little quick look. I hear people say all the time, Jackson had one good year, and he's good. He's coming back. Well, I'll just give you a little information, as you say, a dose of reality. So most people would say Borum sucks, right? That's the deal. Borum sucks. That's the term. Borum sucks. And Jackson, he had a good year in 23. That's what people say, right? So So Jackson in 2023, 1,000 snaps, 5 sacks, 26 pressures, 9 penalties, 97.5 efficiency rating. Borum, 2025, 600 snaps, so slightly over 50%. 2 sacks, 15 pressures, 5 penalties, 97.5 efficiency rating. So if you multiply that out, he's having the same year as Jackson in 2023. So is Borum good? It's not that they're good. We run very simplified offense with speed throwing, and it covers guys up. So Jackson's no good. We locked in 9 next year. Borum is a little bit better at the inside zone, moving guys out, but he's not as fleet of foot. So these guys are about the same guys. We're going to be stuck with Jackson next year because we cut him. It's a lot of money. He's coming back. How long is he going to stay healthy? I don't know. I mean, this guy hasn't seen action since the flood.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't think he's played. When is the last time he played a full season? I don't know. First year, maybe?
23 in his miraculous season. 22, he missed 13 games with an ankle. 28, 8 games knee meniscus. 25, he missed most of the preseason, and toe and leg, and he's missed 10 games.
There you have it. And we got James Daniels. He's hurt.
He's out. He's not going to probably come back for the year. 3 snaps.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And he's out.
That's not bad. 3 snaps, right?
Yeah, 3 snaps. He got. But here's the thing. There's somebody on X had mentioned. Well, I'm not even going to mention the person, but they said, James Daniels, he hurt his Achilles, but he's not injury prone, and that's not Chris Greer's fault.
No, it's not his fault.
Not his fault that he got hurt, but it's his fault for getting a guy that's injury prone, because if you go back,
nobody else wanted him. Nobody else wanted him.
Exactly. and you go back and look at his history, you can Google it and you can find his injury history. The guy's been injured like 3-4 times,
And he's not even that good. He
and
hasn't played that well. He played good for
yeah,
the first couple of games the Steelers last year.
right.
That's it.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
an expensive roll of the dice on a guy who, I mean, he fit us very well
yeah.
with his move, but it was ridiculous. Think about it. Eichenberg, we paid him $2 million, never saw a snap. We paid $24 million to Daniels. He saw 3 snaps. We're paying like $10 million to Jackson, and he's saw what, half a game or something.
Yeah, I think it's 11 million, something like
Yeah,
that.
but think about
anyway,
it. But on the good news, these are Greer moves.
exactly. That's the good news.
So we
Yes.
can get off these kind of moves. And if you want to hit
100%.
Jones into it too, you know, and
Yeah.
so,
So
but
100%.
yeah,
100%. I agree with you.
Strange is terrible. Strange is terrible. I mean, he can
Yes.
move, but
He's serviceable.
oh, you did see that guy? It looks like sometimes he's put on ice skates. I swear, I thought he was like on an ice skating rink. That guy gets hit and driven back. Like he's worse than Eichenberg.
Yeah.
Worse than Eichenberg. And then Brewer, I like Brewer, but I'm not in love with Brewer. I think Brewer works for us, but he wouldn't work for other teams. He struggles with power, but he's good on the move. I think he's smart. I think he can pass blocks, a true pass set pretty decently.
Yeah.
He's worth the money. He's not a guy I'd want. I'd prefer Connor Williams way more than him. But he's a good play. I mean, a pretty good player for us in this scheme. If we move out of scheme, I don't think so much. But I think he's a positive. Jonas still not good. Jonas still struggles big time. I mean, it's hard to say because, look, you can go look at one of the things is like people do tape on somebody and they're not comparing them with who they're going against. You know, then it's like, okay, well, from week
That's
to week,
a great point.
Who are you going against? You know what I mean? Like, does that factor into it? Or, defenses, when they set up, they attack certain players. I mean, they look at the offensive line as a unit and they're trying to find a weak link. And they're like, oh, we're going to attack it here. Oh, this was a weak link, on stunts. Oh, this is a weak link. Like, they're doing that. So, like, how are they attacking that piece? Who are they going against? And so you can't really take raw numbers. But for me watching him, I mean, I didn't study him the last game. I meant to get to it, but I didn't. But from glancing at it, looking at it, I still felt it was a lot of the same. We'll see. I'm going to really spend a lot of time on him going forward because, it's like if you do a Jonas study and it turns out like crap, you just spend 6 hours studying a guy and cutting film, and then people don't want to hear that stuff, so you wasted your time. So it's like I'll just do Paul or something.
Yeah. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Lou, what's going on, brother?
Thank you, brother. But yeah.
Paul, I think's doing pretty good. Some weaknesses, but I think he's doing slightly above expectations for his second year, and that's good for us. I think he's here. I think he's here for the long term.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think you need to mess with Paul. I mean, he seems to stay healthy. He's a big man. He's a little better in the pass protection, but
which is strange, right?
Yeah, it is. But he's improving in his run blocking. He is improving. I have seen that where he seems to be improving there. Still,
and he's nasty. I like it. There was this one play.
Too.
There was one play from the last game where he was just blocking a guy, but it was a run inside to the right side. He wasn't even in on the play, and the guy's got his hand on his chest.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he karate chops him. I was like, that's great. I mean, like, there was no reason for it. He could just like, oh, forget. But he karate chopped, and the guy goes to the ground. That's sending a message. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want football players. They want violence. They're not quitting. They're going to make you pay. I like Paul.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm not saying he's great, but I like him, and I think there's a lot of upside.
For sure. He's definitely a good solid football player for us. Yeah, and he's definitely a guy you want to keep.
And he's been healthy, as you said.
Yeah, and no injury history, nothing. He's never on the injury report. In fact, this week we got Waddle. Waddle did not participate in practice. He's nursing something, and so is Brewer.
He always is.
I think it's Brewer. I think it was Brewer. I heard that he's nursing some type of injury or something. So we'll see. But so we got the New Orleans Saints coming up. And as you said, this is a game we should win. It's a winnable game. Uh, I don't know which Dolphins team is going to show up. Is it going to be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? That's the question. Um, could this bye week kind of get them out of the momentum? I know that's been mentioned a lot. Could it get them out of the momentum? The 2-game winning streak that we've had. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't. Now, my expectations for the Miami Dolphins is not they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. I doubt if we're even going to make the playoffs unless somebody drops off the map. There's a lot of teams in front of us. That maybe Buffalo, loses a few more. Maybe New England loses a few more. Houston. There's other teams that are way ahead of us right now. I just don't see them. I think they're going to be at about the record is going to be about what I said at the beginning of the year, and that was 8-9. Possibly 9-8, but I definitely, realistically, I can definitely see them going 8-9, and that brings Mike McDaniel back for sure.
I
And
think
as you
7 will
said,
bring it back. I think 7 brings it back.
7, really?
He
Wow.
win 3 more games. That means you go 50% over the last 6.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, he could. But, I don't think that's a bad thing if we bring him back. I don't think he's the coach for this team, but, he got an extension as well. Tua got his bag. So they're both coming back. That's a reality that whether you like them or love them, that's just a reality of the situation right now. But let me go over some of these comparisons with the New Orleans Saints. I think their starting quarterback is Tyler Shuck, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So let me go and let me do the comparisons. So we got the Saints. We'll go with the total offense. Miami Dolphins are ranked 25. Saints 26th. Passing offense. Miami's ranked 26th. Saints are ranked 20th. Rushing offense. Saints are ranked 29th. Dolphins have moved up to 18. Scoring offense. Saints are 31st, tied for 31st. And the Dolphins are 24th. They're averaging 20.6. Saints are averaging 15.0. Not good. Sacks allowed. They are ranked 19th. Miami's ranked 11th. Miami's allowed 23. Saints have allowed 28. Third down offense. Miami's ranked 21, and Saints are right behind them right before them at 20. Total defense. Miami is 25th. Saints are 12th. Passing defense. Miami is 12th. They've moved up. They've made vast improvements on their on their pass defense. So they're ranked 12th. Surprisingly, the Saints are ranked 9th. I guess that's because everybody's running on them.
Yeah, they're running.
Rushing defense. Miami's still way down there at 29th, and the Saints are actually 21st. Scoring defense, they're ranked 22nd for the Saints and 21st for the Dolphins. Saints are averaging defense is allowing 24.9 points a game, and the Dolphins are averaging 24.5. Sacks, Miami's tied for 25th, and the Saints are 20th. Third down defense, Miami's 26th, averaging 41.9%, and the Saints are ranked 13th. They're only allowing 36.9. Takeaways, Miami's ranked 19th, and the Saints are ranked 12th. Giveaways, Miami's ranked 26th, and they're tied with the Saints at 26th. So evenly matched across the board, if you think about it. Um, the question I have is, how are those personnel matchups looking on defense and offense in the trenches?
Well, I mean, first off, I think you got to the Dolphins definitely. If you just, there's actually NFL rankings. They might do it on that one. I like checking the last 3 games. Sometimes these ranking things, just like with us, they're so
Right,
screwed or
right.
skewed by the first couple of weeks. Dolphins
Yeah.
would definitely have a much higher trajectory on a lot of those things than the Saints. The Saints are struggling. They got Shucks, a rookie. Their secondary is not so good. They struggle with their cornerbacks, their line. They got Young and Davis, a linebacker. That's about it. Banks Jr. is actually doing better than I thought. The rookie, they got Fuaga on the other side, Fortner, but they struggle at the guard position. They got Olave, but that's really it. They're struggling. They have a hard time putting points on. I think that they're pretty much ready for another loss. I just don't. We're in our house, coming off a bye. I think that we have enough talent to make. It has some talent, but he still makes mistakes and he's young. I just don't see how we lose because all it takes really is Achane a couple plays. We'll probably just ride Achane again like we did, passing the football run. My thing is, though, you just don't want to burn a guy out.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Bugs are back and bugs.
Curtis, and at the beginning of the year, I mentioned that. I said, we can't be giving this guy, Achane all these carries and 25, 30 touches a game. But here he is, and here we are, and he hasn't been hurt yet. Although he did get hurt in the last game. He messed up.
What they say that was? I just thought it was like his stomach, like a
back. You heard his back. See, now apparently he practiced today because I didn't hear anything about him not.
Oh no, he's in contract here, dude. He'll play with one leg.
Yeah, exactly. So, how that will affect him going forward in this next coming game, I don't know. But I mean, it looked pretty bad, but he came back in the game. So knock on wood. He's a tough little guy.
He's had time off, but he's had a lot of injuries. Yes. He's a smaller guy. I think
he has been banged up. He has been banged up.
I mean, look, when you come in as a rookie, your training regime is one thing. You really don't fully understand what it means to be professional. So you got to kind of track the guy for his first 4 years to see, like, hey, how is he growing in his conditioning? How is he doing with his post-game rehab? How is he doing in his rehab and preparedness, in the week leading up? That stuff changes from year one. He had a lot of injuries year one. But we'll see. I give him this year. He's been healthy. But this last bit, he get a lot of touches this last part. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I noticed the last couple of games that he's played, he's really gotten hit hard a lot of times. I don't know if teams are saying, "Hey, we got to stop this guy. Let's put him out." maybe he's a marked man now. I don't know. But I know somebody made a great point about they made a great point about what was it? If I can find this comment about I think it was about, I lost my train of thought on that.
About
but
Gordon?
Anyway. No. Gordon, yeah, for sure. Gordon needs to get some more touches. I think.
Yeah.
He definitely does. And I understand the game before this last game. They were kind of resting him a little bit because of his ankle. And he got more touches this last game. So I'd like to see him get more touches. But Lo-Fi says Achane is like 5'8". He doesn't look that thick. No, he isn't. He really isn't. I actually stood right next to him when they did the scrimmages here in Houston last. I think it was last year.
What do you look like?
He's about my height. He doesn't he's not very big upper body. At least he wasn't his first year. It was when he was a rookie.
They say he's 188.
Yeah, he's about 188. Yeah. I'm 195, almost 200. And he looks about my size. except I'm actually a little thicker than him up on top, and but he's built like a sprinter. You know,
Yeah.
he's it's what he's
And
built like.
he does it well, man. That guy is
And he
so
does it
fast.
well. He does it well. And, he's actually stronger than what you think. But I know, from the, from his first year, when I went and saw him and everything, he does look like he's put on a few pounds. He's might have buffed up a little bit, maybe about
Yeah,
190 or maybe 195, well,
that's a good weight.
195, I would
I
say.
think
That's not bad.
Barry was 5'8", 203, but it was all in the
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah,
30,
he was
is it 30-inch legs?
yeah, he was thick for
32?
sure. He was a thick dude. Yeah, he was all in leg. That's how I'm built. I'm all legs. But anyway, uh not as fast as Barry though.
Just a little slower.
You just a little. Oh man. Oh
I
geez.
miss
So
Barry.
anyway,
I miss Barry.
yeah, me too. Well, he was a hell of a runner. But anyway, so we got, as I said, the Saints coming up this week. Curtis, I think it's a winnable game. In fact, I think they're going to win the game. Uh, what I'm concerned with is I believe they're going to be playing Pittsburgh after that.
A short
And
week after the Jets game.
yeah, yeah, on a short week, and it's going to be a night game,
Dirty.
and it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
So I think the Pittsburgh game, I think that one is going to be the telltale sign to see where we go from there. I think we have, like I said, the next two games, Saints, Jets, winnable. Um, although we are playing at home, Jets at home. We're playing the Jets at home. I don't know, man. That
No,
could
we're
go
playing
either
in
way.
their house. We're playing in their house.
Yeah, we're playing in their house.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
It's
We're
1:00 though, so that's. I mean, and
we're playing.
to me, they're tanking.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. So those are two winnable games. So by that time we'll be what, 6-7,
Yeah.
and then the deciding factor from where we go the rest of the year is going to be that Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. Somebody even said in the comments section, he's like, "Don't get excited until we get 7-7."
Yeah,
I don't. I think we struggle with that. I think we struggle with that one, and a Patriots game unless they got nothing to play for, and then maybe Bengals. Bengals could be tough.
Well,
because they got to put points on.
Yeah, it depends if Joe Burrow's back too.
I suppose he's playing this week.
Well, if they lose this week, they say, "Hey, you know what? We don't have it. Well, they don't have a chance anyway right now, right? What's their record?"
Yeah, no, they're gonna play him throughout because they're gonna because he missed so much time. You don't want him to miss that much time to get rusty.
Yeah, that's true.
He's gonna want to play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're probably right. So, but if Joe Burrow is playing in that Cincinnati game, that could be a tough one for us.
Yeah, it could be.
I know
it's
at home.
The Tampa game better.
Well, I heard that Baker Mayfield, it's just a strained shoulder.
So, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. So he should be ready. I think they're going to rest him they're going to rest him this week, and then he'll play the following week.
Wow.
And he's another guy.
Strained AC joint or something like that.
Yeah. So he's another guy who plays through injuries.
Yep.
He's a tough kid. He's a tough kid. So yeah. I mean, if we lose the Pittsburgh game, that's going to make us. Let's say we're 6-7. That'd make us 6-8.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not betting on going, playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you'd want to see us. If you'd want to see us go 3-4 wins and then 3 or 2 losses. I don't see how. I don't see how we could do. I just don't see how that's going to happen.
I don't either. I don't expect them, but I mean, if they do win, I'd love to see. We love to see.
Can you imagine that?
See our team win and everything. It would be great. I mean, it would be a nice it would be a nice turnaround for the Miami Dolphins. Going out winning what that would be. How many straight they win?
10.
9, 10. There you go. 10 straight. Yeah, right. 10 straight. So man. Whew, I don't think that's ever been done before, has it? Maybe the 70s. It's been done, I think. Yeah, I don't think that's been done. I know Flores brought us back 8 games, wasn't it 8,
Yep.
7 or 8 games straight?
Yep.
So it could be done. It could be done. Well, Curtis, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, brother.
Pleasure.
And I want you to tell everybody where they can watch you at.
You can watch me on Steve Molloy's show. I'm there. You can check me out on Ace Per Head on YouTube. Just go YouTube Ace Per Head Curtis. It's a strange name, but it's my sponsors that pay for me to do this kind of crazy stuff. I love covering the team. I think I'm gonna be adding animation soon too. So
Oh wow, nice.
I do analytics, I do film, I gab and chat, and I think maybe I'm gonna add animation.
Well, you do analytics?
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Well, gosh dog it. You're the GM.
Yeah,
You're the
right.
GM.
Ross is gonna hire me. Hey, I want a job.
Jeez, man. We got our GM right here, right in front of us, and we don't even know it.
So yeah, that's it. You can find me. I do the Twitter thing, but not really so much. It's not the space I like. I'm trying to do it, but it's just such a crazy space. So that's really it. YouTube. Curtis.
There you go.
Ace Per Head.
I appreciate it, Curtis, man. Again, I appreciate you joining.
Oh,
ladies
pleasure.
and gentlemen, make sure you go hit that like button and subscribe over there on Curtis's
do that too.
podcast.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Well, thank you, Curtis. I appreciate it. But no, seriously, go watch those last 2 or 3 videos. They're very good, especially the one about the general manager. Well, I forgot what the title was.
Series. I got a two-part series. One dialed into a small overview, and then one the micro view.
Yeah, they were excellent. So if you want to go see what the possibilities are with the Miami Dolphins football organization, can the front office be fixed? Go watch those videos. It might give you some answers. Thanks a lot, Curtis, again, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for joining me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that bell if you're new to the channel, and then share with your friends, your families, and neighbors. See you next week.
Thank you, Steve.